Hello and welcome to Match 2, Day 2 of the Aeon Drive Tournament. My name is Warning Track and I'm joined by unknown availability. We saw yesterday a margin of just 0.08 seconds, and I thought that was probably going to be the closest we would cast during this entire week, but just now we saw Ortega lose to Dave the Epic 4 by 0.06 seconds, and worse than that, right after the timer went off, bested the time.
Yep, just the buzzer beater coming down. So Dave the Epic 4 is moving on to the top 32, and the winner of this match, we've got FluffyPrower and Sogiran going at each other at the top 64. You know, we talk about the top 64 quite a bit. 4,000 people have joined this tournament, and this is the top 64, so you've got the best of the best 64 folks here. So anybody could pull away, anybody could win, literal by tenths of a second. So we're here doing this tournament with Aeon Drive, however you want to say it. September 30th, the game comes out. Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Switch, all your favorite platforms. You can wishlist it on Steam right now and wait for it to come out on September 30th. Honestly, I'm hyped for this game. This game is a lot of fun. There's a lot of precision. There's a lot of learning to be done with this game. Even if you want to get this game as a casual game and you're looking to do speedrunning, this game can help teach you how to speedrun a platforming style game. It really can give you a lot of the skills that you need. This game is a very approachable game, very fun game. There is a teleportation dagger that is like the #1 movement that you will see, and we're starting off right now. This level right here, I know this level. There is the moving lasers that you can go through, but you can also climb this wall on the very top here and try to avoid these spikes, but you have to be very, very precise. So there is definitely going to be a lot of route testing here, and I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of craziness on this particular level.
Yeah, both players actually trying that route. You could see Sogiran trying it a couple times and going over to the right instead and seeing if they have a little more luck over there, but FluffyPrower sticking with it. This is 10 minutes here in the top 64. In the round of 32, you get 30 minutes, and I would say encourages experimentation maybe a little bit more. Here, you have to be a little more judicious about it. There we go. Getting through the top is FluffyPrower, and it is indeed nice and quick. They're still sort of finding their way through. Obviously, they're taking their time. They're not really trying to get their best time here. Testing the distance of that teleportation dagger, which is the core mechanic for these runners, and the winner, every single time, the winner has been the person who used the dagger the best.
Exactly. Now, here's the funny thing about the route that Sogiran's taking. I mentioned this yesterday, and it really never came up. It's not always going to be hold right. It's going to be a point where you're going to have to go left and actually come back in some of these levels. The direction that Sogiran's coming in looks a little bit slower than what FluffyPrower is doing, climbing the wall on the left-hand side. And right now, here's a lot of that really quick movement that you're seeing from FluffyPrower, and I'm curious how they're going to end the level, because that's the key there. Going up, you have to come back down on top of the portal, the ending of the level, where going underneath, you're going to be closer to the portal at the end. So I don't really know which one's going to be faster, but we're going to be able to see here shortly who gets the faster one, because we have a very big route differential right here.
Yeah, and risk is a part of speedrunning too, so some of you might be wondering, well, if it looks a little slower there, that lower route that Sogiran's taking right now as I speak, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you do the route over the top that FluffyPrower's doing on the left side? Well, because it seems harder. You're more likely to die. So if you get through the right 100% of the time, that might actually give you a better chance at a better time in just a 10-minute time frame, as opposed to the left, where maybe you only get to complete the run a few times because the beginning is so much tougher. You see that with other speedruns too, right? It's not always the fastest mechanic. Sometimes it's the one with the least RNG or the least risk.
And you hear that from the speedrunner that's doing the run too. You hear that, well, this is a speedrun safe strat, or a what word? I'm blanking on the word. Not tournament safe, but if they do like GDQ or something like that, it's
right.
Yeah, it's a safe strat in order to be able to not lose the run. But in this, you're got a lot of forgiveness whenever you die. So
yes.
You go back to the start, 3, 2, 1, go. You go back again.
Yeah.
It looks like they're testing that distance on the dagger again, and they're like, okay, well, where can I hit here in order to be able to do this faster? and in order to, where do I need to stop to throw it, things of that nature. And you see on FluffyPrower's end, if they're too late, they have to stop because that moving laser is right there.
You got to make that cycle, yeah.
Yeah, so they have to make the first cycle on that.
Yeah, that speed versus safety distinction, it matters a lot more when you're doing, let's say, a 25-minute Super Mario 64 run, right? And you lose 20, maybe plus minutes every time you do something risky near the end. This is a little different, of course, and especially these earlier stages that we're still on here early in the tournament. So probably you want to go for the optimal strats and don't worry about safety too much, because your best run's going to end up being, as you can see, 10 or 11 seconds, 6 or 7 on some of these other stages. But as the tournament goes on and the stages get presumably longer and more complicated, I can see safety being a bigger and bigger concern for the runners.
Yeah, absolutely. And Karuzin, thank you very much. Marathon strats, marathon safe strats.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's sprints versus marathons. That's usually the distinction. And we are still definitely in sprint mode, although you can be forgiven for saying with this game, every single stage, even the later ones, is sort of like sprint mode. It is built for speed. This is the Lamborghini of platformers.
Absolutely. And I as much as I love watching a lot of platformers, this is very reminiscent of Celeste and The Messenger, things like that, where very tight platforming and almost unforgiving platforming. But literally, it's built from the ground up. Speed. It's designed to help you learn as you go. You learn where you gotta go. It's very with the dagger, you can let go of hold neutral is what I think you were saying, which confused me because I'm like, how do you hold neutral? You let go. So. But you, whenever you just let go and let it go neutral, you'll fall. So that's one of those things at the very end of this level that you can see. If they let go, they'll fall and they can throw the dagger almost immediately. But if they hold right, they're going to grab the top of that wall, and it just takes 0.2 of a second off, which is literally win or lose in something like this.
Yeah, you said unforgiving, and that is one word for it. But once you become comfortable, unforgiving becomes responsive. Those are basically different words for the exact same thing based on your comfort level. 100%.
And Sogiran showing how that dagger is so useful. There is a little block in the route that he is taking, or they are taking, that they're hitting in order to be able to land on the platform below. I love that. It is such a tight window. It's such a tight spot in order to be able to hit that, fall down, and then use it again to get off that platform. Such a cool little strat that they're using right there with that little block.
I think you're right, by the way, with the comparison. Celeste and the Messenger, art-wise, a little more Celeste. You even got the red hair by default for the character. The Messenger, on the other hand, we do have kind of a lot of ninja-like weapons. That's not a shuriken, the teleportation dagger, but it sure feels like one.
I don't... I've got this vision of Ryu from Ninja Gaiden just throwing shurikens now and teleporting. And I love it. I love it.
Supernatural ninjas. I love it. That's kind of what this feels like. I mean, obviously you got the person-sized sword to go with it. That's the power sword. But as you can see, the runners, when they really settle in, they're not really killing the enemies much. They are flying past them instead.
The enemies are definitely an afterthought, but they are dangerous. They are very dangerous because, in particular, the flying enemies are what get them more often than not because they
the players are flying.
Yeah,
I mean, the players are flying. I mean, it's like you need an air traffic controller here. If they're in the air, you are too, and suddenly you're in each other's pathways. By the way, Sogiran did get under that 15 they were stuck at for a long time to 12, but look at this, FluffyPrower finally broke 10 just now, 9.35, still a significant lead and just under 3 minutes left.
And I feel like there's a lot more time to be cut off. 100%.
Yes.
This level is one of the tougher levels that I saw. They gave us the ability to get familiar with the game. I did play in this level, and I loved this level. This was actually one of my favorite levels that I was able to play through. And I found myself... I'm not really a platform player, but I found myself trying to find the fastest strat through this level. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, Sogiran is, I think, missing a key little thing. The last move they can make is to fire the dagger immediately when they land. FluffyPrower has figured that out. I don't think Sogiran has. They keep trying to jump out, and it keeps messing them up, both time-wise and death-wise. I think if they realize that, they still have a chance to clutch this out, but there's only 2 minutes left, and they're still 3 seconds down, and they're just not using, you can see, look at that, a lot of jumping, a lot of actual platforming. The platformer thing, it's almost a misnomer. You should be using the dagger more often. FluffyProwers use the dagger more often, and that's why they have a 3-second lead.
Yeah, and that's really how this game has kind of redefine what it is to platform, because you're literally platforming with this dagger. So you can throw it to just make yourself go down faster, get further along in the level, and save yourself from falling. Actually, FluffyPrower just did that. That was a very good run right there.
That was it. That last little dagger they did to that far wall with the laser wall coming at them. FluffyPrower's realized you can do that. Sogiran hasn't. And that's one of the reasons they have this deficit.
And I will say this too, that this is the first level we've really seen a difference in routing. We've never really seen the runners take different routes. And that really does also have a big part of it too. There's no doubt that the route that FluffyPrower is taking going up that wall, it's very dangerous because those spikes are not easy to get around. You have pixels away from landing in the spikes. But it's looking like FluffyPrower is saying, well, you know what, let's go check and see what we have now. They're starting to figure out to go right, or maybe they're just dying. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, they got that sub 9 just a second ago, and there's only 45 seconds left, which means Sogiran only has a few more runs left in them, and FluffyPrower, I think, figures they probably got this if they've checked the leaderboard at all. 30 seconds left. Sogiran has so few chances. If they're going to die, they got to die quick, too. You don't want to die near the end. That would be absolutely backbreaking because each run's going to take at least 8 or 9 seconds. There's a death in the middle. 30 seconds left. Only a couple more shots, and Sogiran has not even sniffed 10 seconds yet, whereas FluffyPrower is sub 9. Looking very good here. Sogiran has maybe one more death left, and that's going to be it. This could be their second to last chance, or their last if they take too long. They do not make it through there. They have to die right now. 12 seconds. It's not going to be possible, I don't think. They're starting right here. That's going to do it.
This has to be the run of their life. It has to be the run of their life.
Nope. Missed the first shot. Yeah, I don't even know if they would have beaten the buzzer or not. It would have been really, really close if it was perfect. It's not. FluffyPrower's, though, almost is. Sub 9 takes it down. Wow, it's going to be Dave the Epic 4 versus FluffyPrower in the round of 32.
And they're going to get 30 minutes in order to be able to figure out the level that they're going in. That's going to be a very hype matchup. Stick around, folks. Once again, September 30th, Aeon or Eon Drive. Team Aeon, Team Eon. It doesn't matter. Put it in chat, whichever one you like. September 30th, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and you can wishlist it on Steam right now so you know when it comes out and you can snag this game. Very fun. Very, very cool game. Shout out to the devs. Also, shout out to our good friend Milo in the back. But stick around for Dave the Epic 4 and FluffyPrower in the top 32 match. Warning Trek and I will be back in just a moment. Love you all.